Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever paused a movie? Not because you were bored, but because the sound felt too real? Because that's what happened to me with the JBL Bar 1300X. I'm sitting there, watching a movie, and suddenly I turn my head because I swear someone just whispered behind me. Nobody's there. No speakers visible. No wires running across the room. Just sound floating in space. And that's when I realized, yeah, this thing is dangerous. This isn't just a soundbar. It's a full-on home cinema in disguise. Here's the crazy part. When you first see the JBL Bar 1300X, it doesn't scream $1,700 home theater. It looks chunky, practical, almost understated. But the moment you press play, the room changes. This is an 11.1.4 channel system. Not virtual, not simulated, real height channels, real surround, real rear speakers. And those rear speakers, they detach from the soundbar, run on built-in batteries, and connect wirelessly. No cables, no drilling, no excuses. You just grab them, drop them behind your couch, and suddenly your living room becomes a cinema. The first time it hits, you'll feel it in your body. I tested it the same way I test everything serious. Top Gun, Maverick. Jet engines didn't just rumble, they pressed into the couch. Metal clinks floated around the room. And when the engines roared, the 12-inch subwoofer didn't just make noise, it moved air. This thing doesn't do sloppy bass. It does tight, physical, chest-thumping bass that makes your floor feel alive. And here's what impressed me most. Even when everything gets loud, dialogue stays clean. No scrambling for the remote. No, wait, what did they say? Moments. That balance between chaos and clarity is hard to pull off. JBL nailed it. Dolby Atmos. Done the right way. This is where the 1300X separates itself. Dolby Atmos on this system isn't a gimmick, it's positional. Sounds don't just come from the sides, they move. Above you, behind you, through the room. In sci-fi movies, effects float overhead. In horror films, you'll hear breathing behind you and regret watching alone. And in quiet scenes, even tiny details fabric movement. Distant echoes feel intentional. I'll be honest, there were moments where I had to pause the movie just to breathe. That's not marketing hype, that's immersion. TV shows sound way better than they have any right to now. Here's something people don't talk about enough. A lot of high-end soundbars are amazing for movies, and just okay for TV. Not this one. Even basic Netflix shows no Atmos, no fancy audio sound, fuller, closer, more present. Voices feel like they're coming from right in front of you instead of trapped inside the TV. And there's a night mode too, when you don't want the sub shaking the building, but still want clarity. It works shockingly well. Music? Better than expected with one caveat. Let's be real, this is a cinema-first system. But music, it holds its own. Bass-heavy tracks shake the room, vocals stay crisp, and with a bit of EQ tweaking in the app, you can dial things in depending on genre. Is it replacing a dedicated audiophile setup? No. But for parties, casual listening, or turning your kitchen into a disco while cooking, this thing delivers. Just don't expect perfection straight out of the box for every genre. A tiny bit of tuning goes a long way. The app actually doesn't suck. That's rare. The JBL One app deserves credit. Setup is simple. Calibration is fast. Controls make sense. You can adjust sync, tweak EQ, switch modes, control everything from your phone, and honestly, once it's set up, you may never touch the remote again. It also turns the system into a smart speaker with streaming support, which is nice. But let's be clear, you're buying this for movies. Everything else is a bonus. Now, let's be honest about the flaws. Nothing is perfect, and pretending otherwise would be fake. Sometimes after pausing a video, the sound takes about 1 second to come back. Not a deal breaker, but you will notice it. Also, there's no HDMI 2.1 pass-through for 120 Hz gaming. if you're a hardcore console gamer with a high-end TV, that might matter to you. And yeah, it's expensive. But here's the thing. Once you realize what you're getting, soundbar, subwoofer, rear speakers, Atmos, no wiring, it starts making sense. So, is the JBL Bar 1300X worth it? If this is your first serious home theater setup? Honestly, this is one of the best places you could start. You get massive sound, true surround, insane bass, and zero installation stress. Is it the absolute best system money can buy? No. But for something that doesn't require running cables through walls or building a rack of equipment, this is dangerously close. Final verdict. The JBL Bar 1300X doesn't try to be subtle, it tries to make movies feel alive, and it succeeds. If you want your living room to feel like a theater without turning your house into a construction project, this is one of the smartest buys you can make right now. And once you hear it, you won't want to go back.